462.
Oh, you remembered.
Bada boom.
Look at that big brain on Denny. You can see it.
You can see it now because I have less hair.
Whoa. You do.
So, here we are. I'm drinking some Phoenix.
Yeah, some Milan, Xiang, Dancong from WuyiOrigin's.
Sweet.
One of our regular, one of the vendors we probably feature the most here on TDB.
Definitely.
So for these teas, you and I, they're not regular brews, I don't think, for either of us, unless your tea diet has changed. But they tend to brew out a little differently than WuyiOrigin's, even though they're both kind of twisted. And what I found I like is just a little bit less leaf than those WuyiOrigin's.
Yeah, they can be really strong, potent. They're wonderful in the aroma. So, yeah, incredible. So cozy. These can be strong in a way that surprises me, given the flavor profile. I often do like drinking these after a meal because they can sometimes get my stomach a little going.
Yeah,
especially the greener ones.
It smells really peachy.
Very floral and sweet and fruity.
And one issue is if you misbrew this, you can definitely get them to be a fair bit astringent.
Yes.
So let's keep this short because it's not a regular brew, and I would rather it be light than astringent.
I would say of the oolong, family, which is a large one, these would probably be the most finicky to brew of all of them that I know of.
Okay.
Beautiful color, almost kind of like a pink.
Yeah, it really is. I'm like trying to figure out if that's like my chai or the tea. Cheerio.
Cheerio.
All the way down the hatch now.
Oh my god, it's gonna be hot.
It smells really nice.
Yeah, I smell the peach for sure.
And aroma-wise, it's very different from something like a WuyiOrigin's, which is far more in that kind of mineral, sweeter, darker, roastier vein.
Yeah, high notes would really characterize that kind of middle high register
for sure.
Here.
Rather than middle low
Right.
WuyiOrigin's.
Really nice, light texture, so it'll get stronger. Plenty of flavor. Really good. The oolong gives it, the roast gives it a little bit of a roundness that I think makes it a little bit easier to drink, a little bit cozier. Lots of sweetness.
And to go back to a very old question, Denny, when would you drink this tea?
I think this time of year is a great time to drink this, Phoenix, frankly.
What about, like, do you need full stomach? What time of day? That sort of thing.
Probably, I wouldn't do this first thing, and I wouldn't do it on an empty stomach, and I would not do it as my first session.
Okay.
Yeah, this feels like an afternoon session to me. Pretty much like after lunch is like this is the perfect time for it.
Yeah, which is what we did. We just murdered some dim sum.
So full. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's really good right now. That was a sniff. Cheers.
Yeah, and I think for people just starting out, this is like, if you were to just kind of go through the different oolong family members, as Denny liked to go with, this is a fun one to do. And I think a little bit, I'm not going to say underrated, but like definitely less talked about than perhaps Taiwanese oolongs or WuyiOrigin's. I mean, we're probably guilty of this as much as anyone. We probably drink one of these per year. But when we do, usually I like it.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I'm not. It's something where I don't crave it too much, but then every once in a while I'm like, that sounds perfect right now.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. There's kind of a crispness, and yet you can kind of get that woolly, minerally depth from it a little bit. It's subtle, that part of it. Actually smelling it more than tasting it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, for me, this is really kind of like a summer spring tea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I suppose you could drink this on the like the more darker months, but I feel like weather like today, the sun's sort of gleaming in from the window. It's just really nice.
Totally. Yeah, delicious. Not super viscous, right? This isn't gonna be an inky, ripe that you just let hang out. You wanted to, kind of flash through this with hot water, but be done with it then.
Yeah.
Really tasty. Mom test, what do you think?
I think it would pass. I do think this is a pretty sensitive one. So if you brew sort of like Denny's mom did when he was growing up and just like, maybe oversteep it a bit, it might not be so good. In fact, I could see this becoming quite nasty pretty fast.
Right.
So I think for an attentive brewer, absolutely on the mom test. For an inattentive brewer, I don't know, stick to black tea.
Yeah. Because you're right, there's this potency from the green character of the leaves.
Yeah.
That it's that sort of like ferment but not completely roasted flavor that is strong. You can tell it could be astringent.
Oh yeah, it's like almost teetering on the edge of it.
Yeah, but it's just potent. It's powerful. Not quite peaty. It doesn't have as much of that earthiness to it, but just kind of like that sort of like intense lower register flavor.
Which is why a tea like this, you're never going to get it that thick, because to get it thick, you would be
Totally.
Also buying yourself a very astringent brew.
Right. Yeah, the leaves are really quite green, actually. I mean,
yeah,
they're not. You can see that they're oxidized, but still. Wonderful aroma. One of my favorite parts of this tea is smelling it.
It does smell very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheer out. I feel like a stretch there. This is like one of those teas that when we'd have it, it'd almost be nicer to smell than to actually drink.
Yeah.
Just a nice balance. I would say this tea is definitely a little bit on the delicate side of things. It's one where, I like this to be a little thicker, but I don't want to overbrew this, and I could feel it's hinting enough at those tannins that I don't want to push it my luck.
And when you say delicate, you don't necessarily mean soft in intensity of flavor. You mean careful about brewing it.
Yeah, and a little fairly kind of in terms of its flavor profile too, like kind of more in that floral, peachy, high-end sort of stuff where switching like perhaps your leaf to water ratio or the brew time will have a pretty big impact on that profile.
Yeah, I can feel it like being kind of stimulating too, informing.
Yeah.
Just really pleasant. And yeah, probably underrepresented on the show. I don't think of these teas too often. In terms of drinking them, but I really enjoy them when I do.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the pocket of Big Wooey, so,
It's true, we're paid for.
Yeah.
We're paid for.
They send us rocks.
30, 44.
Yeah. They send me rocks and Denny minerals. He's got a great mineral collection. He has a room just for his minerals.
That weird geode crystal guy.
You ever visit Denny? You just ask to see his minerals. Go into his mineral room.
Let's go lick rocks in my living room.
Yeah. But you know what? They didn't pay their bill, so we're covering a Dancong.
If people want to grab this, check out WuyiOrigin's. This is which one is this again?
This is the Milan Xiang.
Okay, cool. And these
Old
Phoenix.
Bush, actually.
Okay, got it. Phoenixes in general, always enjoyed. Pretty much as young as you can get them. They will get rusted a little bit, so it's not the most important thing to have them as fresh as possible. But
yeah, it's not a green tea.
Yeah, exactly. But still really tasty. WuyiOrigin's just an easy recommendation in general for their stuff. Go check them out. If you like if you like us. Like the video, subscribe, do the stuff, ttv.org, yada yada, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cheer out.